Okay, so our next how-to video is going to talk about your Google Drive. So we're going to go back to a classroom. So the way we're going to access our Google Drive from our Google Classroom is we will go to the classwork section. Right at the top, it will say Class Drive Folder. So when I click on that, it brings me out to my Google Drive and specifically to the folder for that class. See, we can see Building Thinking Classrooms. That was the name of my classroom. So I'm in the folder for that classroom, and I have the different assignments that did in Google and turned in. Those are available right here. So that is one way that you can access your Drive is directly from your classroom. If once in Drive, you'll notice it opened it as a separate tab. If I go back to my Google Classroom, I have an individual folder for each one of my classes. So again, when we talk about the order of your classroom, your teachers hopefully have renamed their files, first semester math, second semester science, or whatever, and they should be in order. And if they're not, you can grab your folders and move them around, or you can rename them to keep them in the order that you want to. So one of the ways that you can rename them to make sure they're in order is by putting a number in front. So I'm going to hover over the folder and I'm going to right click and I can rename it. So if this was first hour, I could put first and hit OK. If this was second hour down here, I can go and hit rename and I could hit second and it would move it up behind number one. And actually, I could just put one period, two periods so that they go in order. So that's one way to rename your files. Another way you can access your Google Drive should be through ClassLink. Now, I don't have the icon anymore for Google Drive on my ClassLink, but you should have an icon just like with Google Classroom. You should have one for Google Drive. If you don't have it, you can search here under Google Drive. The icon should look like this right up here, this triangle that's green, yellow, and blue. The third option for accessing your Google Drive is to just open a new tab. And right here in this is called your waffle. If you open your waffle, you can actually access all your Google apps here as well. So we can see right here, I have Drive and I can just open it to my Drive. If I did it this way and wanted to go to my Google Classroom, I would find the folder named Google Classroom. Mine is up top, but usually folders are alphabetical. I put a 1 in front of this to make sure my Google Classroom is always at top. So yours might be a little further down. You're going to click on that folder, and then again, you would see all of the folders for your classes. A little bell action there so that you would see all of the folders for your classes. Okay? You should have a folder for each class. So one of the important things that you're going to be often asked to do, like if you think you've deleted a file from Classroom, Google Classroom, you can go to your Google Drive and it will still be present there in the folder for that classroom. The second thing, if you're in an assignment and you accidentally delete some of the assignment, whether it's in Google Slides or Google Docs, and it's kind of past the point of no return where you can do an undo on that, what you can do is go and open that assignment. Just going to kind of, you don't need to see the name of the student here. And from there, you can go to File, Version History. This is going to be your friend if you're someone that accidentally deletes stuff. When you go to the version history, you want to see the version history. and it will show you all the different versions. If you go to the last one, it will show you the last thing you did. If you go to the first one listed, like by time, so 8:02 a.m. is before 9:31 p.m. If I put it on 8:02, it would ask me, do I want this version? So remember, this is the version now. You can see that there's an answer, there's some coloring done in here. And this one has nothing done in it. So if I wanted to go back to the beginning, I could say restore this version, right? So it says restore this version. So I want to keep this version. I can restore that version. And the other version's gone from my drive. I'm never going to be able to access that again once I restore this version. If I want to keep this version, I don't have to do anything because it's the newest one. But you can have like several different versions over here. I mean, they can be 5 different versions. So you can look at each one to determine if you deleted something, when didn't you delete it? And you can restore back to that point. Okay, so restoring and looking at version history is your friend. So search in Drive. You can search by person. You can search by what type of file. So if I wanted math, right, or say you wanted science, or say you wanted my name, you can put that in there, and it will bring up everything that has math in it. For me, I'm a math teacher, so that's a lot of files. If I want to search by a file type, I can say I only want to look at my spreadsheets. So type spreadsheet, and that has the word math in it. If I only want to look at people, so once I don't want spreadsheets anymore, I can just click off of that. It goes back to file type. If I want to look at people, I can say everything from Cindy Sims, and it's going to be everything with Cindy Sims with the word math in it. Last modified, this will show me, maybe I just worked on a file and it will show me what I worked on today, the last 7 days, the last 30 days, the last year, etc. Title only, that gives you, again, it's only showing ones that have math in it. So there's all different search functions to help you find things as well. And then you also have your to-do. So to-do is, do I have any approvals waiting for me? Do I have any requests being made to me to share a file? Do I have any action items like comments, outstanding, or things like that? Do I have any ownership transfers to me? So there's all different aspects up to the search function in the Google Drive. And again, your Drive houses all of your Google files, whether they be docs, sheets, slide decks, pictures, screencasted by videos, everything is going to be stored here in your Google Drive. And that will follow you all through RPS. So you never really want to delete anything. And that is the basics of how to use your Google Drive.